Hello everyone, this is Mr. Matthew here, and today I am going to make this video proving to you guys how Koopa Troopa can easily, without a doubt, destroy Shadow the Hedgehog in a fight. Now, I do this type of thing where I can definitely prove to you guys that Koopa Troopa is stronger than Shadow, is more powerful than Shadow, is smarter than Shadow. You know, like if we put in a match where we have Koopa Troopa and he's fighting Shadow the Hedgehog, I think Koopa Troopa can easily knock him out without a doubt. And today I'm going to show it to you in this presentation that I have to show, and I think it will prove to you guys 100% how much more powerful Koopa Troopa is compared to Shadow. So give me guys a second here. Alright, so as here you can tell in this presentation that we have presented here, that we're going to present here in this in these files, in these slides, that I was going to say. These slides are going to help present my point on how Koopa Troopa easily beats Shadow in a fight. So you got the title here with Koopa Troopa looking like a dead shad, looking like, hey, Shadow, I'm going to beat him and enjoy it. He's such a, Koopa Troopa is looking so proud about it, and I just can't, is looking so proud, but yet so nice about this match, and I really can't help but thank him for that. And Shadow here is looking all angry and just wanting to beat Koopa Troopa, treating him like trash and all that stuff. Bad Shadow, bad. So, yeah, Koopa Troopa easily knocks Shadow out in this fight, and I will use only three simple steps, showing you guys how Koopa Troopa easily mops the floor with Shadow. So, in step one, we have Chaos Collision. So, as we start, Koopa Troopa starts running in the direction of Shadow. Then Shadow tries to use his power. He tries to use his Chaos Control. Now, in this Chaos Control, Shadow, can throw spears and can, stop time easily. Stop time for a little bit and transfer to another instance, like just right behind the Koopa Troopa. And Shadow tries to like go behind the Koopa Troopa for a little bit, and Shadow tries to teleport behind the Koopa Troopa with the Chaos Control. But what happens is that the Koopa Troopa can easily, he has a clear sense of vision and can sense Shadow coming up to him. So what does he do? So Shadow, looking all angry, holding the Chaos Emerald, goes right behind him, and this is what happens in our next step. That is step 2, the turn back. So in this, Shadow goes here, charging himself up right behind the Koopa Troopa, and then he tries to throw a spear at him, but right before he could do that, Koopa Troopa knows that Shadow is behind him, so this is how he beats him. Koopa Troopa throws his shell at Shadow, like this. He throws it at Shadow, knowing that, Shadow's behind me, I then have to take off my shell and throw it at him. And the shell is a very powerful, indestructible tool that can easily, overpower Shadow in this fight. So this shell goes right here to Shadow, knocks him out completely, renders him powerless. Shadow is completely powerless against the shell, and he gets knocked out of it, and he can no longer access his powers because the Koopa Troopa shell is that powerful. And the downfall of Shadow happens in the next step, that is step 3, the power of the shell. So this shell is so powerful that renders Shadow completely powerless. Look at that. Shadow is lying on the ground, being knocked out by how powerful this shell was. This shell was an absolute beast of a tool, that Koopa Troopa had. That shows that Koopa Troopa is so much stronger. And this is how Shadow has been completely knocked out, completely KO'd by this shell, and Shadow falls right into the trash where he belongs, and rising up is Koopa Troopa, and he's so happy. Yay! I beat Shadow, yay! And finally, it is the Koopa Troopa victory! Alright, so here Koopa Troopa is dancing with his buddies after he has already beaten Shadow in a fight, and it's just awesome, you know. It's awesome that Koopa Troopa has regained his confidence, went against someone as big as Shadow, but proved to Shadow that Shadow is not as big, is not as powerful, and is not as confident as they think he is. You know, Koopa Troopa is far more popular, is far more powerful, far more bigger, and far much of a bigger threat than Shadow ever will be. Koopa Troopa is awesome, and Shadow belongs in the trash. Hooray, Koopa Troopa! Hooray! And that is how we have proved that Koopa Troopa can immediately not Shadow in a fight. Koopa Troopa is far more powerful than Shadow, is far more stronger, far smarter, and far more capable of beating Shadow. Shadow, like, he has nothing on the almighty greatness himself that is Koopa Troopa. Koopa Troopa is a masterpiece of a character. Koopa Troopa is genuinely a very noble, very kind person who values his dignity. And Shadow is worthless, and those that's knocked out immediately rentless, and that's rendered useless and powerless. And that is how and that is how Shadow that's knocked out, that's thrown into the trash, and Koopa Troopa rises up the top and becomes the supreme victorious. Koopa Troopa destroys Shadow in a fight. We have proved it to you guys in this amazing presentation that we have. Good race, yay! Goodbye everyone, have a peaceful day.